All right, it's 6:03 on December 12th, and I'm gonna call this meeting to order. Town of Oxford, planning board meeting. So we're gonna move right to business, and let you guys tell us your names
Yeah,
again.
certainly. I'm Kurt Neufeld,
Right.
civil engineer, work for Priority Real Estate Group, and with me tonight is, you may have found
Yeah.
Brandon Cummings,
Brandon
from
Cummings.
Priority as well, just here to if Kurt needs any assistance,
that.
but
He's the VP of construction, he'll be the person to make sure it all gets built right, assuming I designed it right.
Right.
What's your name again?
Brandon Cummings.
So you're the designer, he's the builder,
Yeah.
more or
Yes.
less.
We try.
He did a little bit more. So,
You're
just
gonna
a,
see past my head.
No, no, I'm gonna, then,
I just want to introduce a little bit about us. Not that we have a determined resistance here tonight, but it's always nice for
Yeah.
us to let people know that, a lot of times they see Irving on a gas, sign, they think it's big, out of state conglomerate. Well, Priority Real Estate Group and all the subs we use are Maine-based companies. Western Lantern Market is also based in Maine. Our boss, Jim Howard, grew up in Waterville and lives in Topsom. I don't know if you recognize any of these names, the Joy Brothers, Carmel Electric, Terry Dealer, they're all local folks who use Maine banks. So if anybody does, want to say, this is no good for us, just let them know that we try to be as local as we could. As a matter of fact, if Maine had a refinery, we would sell their gas.
Uh-huh.
But, they don't, so no moose gas out there. So we're going to create a new 4-acre lot out of what's almost 11 acres for this new project. We're going to more or less maintain the existing entrance, it'll shift just slightly. The source, just over 5,000 square feet of kitchen, sales, and some indoor dining areas. These projects, the buildings that you see in your package, we were looking here, we call it the Gen 2 store. It's really a step up from your basic neighborhood market or convenience store.
Is that similar to the size of West Paris that you guys just put in?
This is exactly the same type of
Oh, that one's nice.
So they all have an outdoor patio area. It is available year round. I don't know if we'll be out there tonight, but what we had noticed with some of those, Western Lantern operates about 30, 32 of these throughout Maine and New Hampshire. And people show up and want a beating in their car, and there wasn't something. So looking to give them some spaces to eat out of their car. We'll have regular and diesel options. And one thing we've just started adding for a lot of our sites, particularly in more remote areas, I don't know if this is totally remote, but emergency generators, so these stores can become a shelter or a warm spot for people.
Oh, nice.
This is a portion of the plan that was prepared by Kristen Day, I think I get that right, showing where our parcel's coming out of. You may remember about a year ago, we carved off this interesting piece of land for a solar array. We purchased this overall parcel and carved out about 4 acres for our site. And I do have that plan here tonight, so if the board is comfortable after this presentation, maybe we can sign it and get that report.
And apparently I didn't provide that to you guys, my mistake.
It was
but
in the email, I know that.
It was in the email, I just forgot to give it to you, but he's got the good ones anyway.
Here it is from with the aerial, some of the surrounding areas. So we've got the New Balance right across the street from us, along the garden shop over here. You can see the outline of the land that we purchased, some solar arrays going in back there. Nothing really across the street. So within our parcel, we have the entrance here. We've been working with Maine DOT on this. We've got our applications in to them. They're going through that right now. So they've approved our entrance location. We'll have a right turn and a left turn out, and obviously one coming in. Designed so that you would have some longer parking areas out back here for somebody maybe going to a speedway or coming up with a boat, have another place to park. We have parking around the store for employees. Our gas tanks will be buried back here so the truck can come in, do the refueling operation and circulate around the store without being, really mingling in with the customers. Our generator will be hiding behind the dumpster. We have propane next to the building here. That was just my context.
Oh, I thought it
I
was
want you guys
glasses.
going blind over there.
Oh, I just got my glasses. I know, I can see this. I'm right here.
So the rest of the parcel, there's no plans for it right now. It will be available, and this entrance would serve any other development that happens out there.
Are the trees that are over here gonna be an issue at all?
On which side? Over here?
This side?
No. So if you,
Oh, so it's farther over this way?
right, so this right of way that was reserved is now this construction
Yeah,
access.
okay. I was thinking it was closer to this tree line where it'd be hard to see back and forth, but it's not.
We'll be impacting a little bit of this wooded area on our parcel to get the stormwater ponds in.
Oh, I don't care. I just
Right.
wondered about entering and exiting.
This is our grading plan. A little hard to see up there, but we're going to be collecting everything in catch basins, and each basin will have what they call a snout, or it's just basically a hood or something on the outgoing pipe that makes sure that water has to go up from underneath before it goes out. What that does, it catches any hydrocarbons, which is fancy word for gas, that spills on the site. Then it's going to go through the last catch basin has an oil stop valve, which is a clever device somebody came up with. It's got basically a plug that floats if it's in water and sinks if it's in gas, and it'll cut that off. And these are all because we are in an aquifer zone in order to get our permits from the DEP to have underground tanks there. We do these extra measures, go above and beyond. And once it gets past the oil stop, it goes through one more last chance of basically a little bit separator. And then there's two large infiltration areas, which basically takes half the site to each one. And that will infiltrate into the ground. There is no storm drainage in the area. So that application's in the DEP, and they're reviewing it. You haven't heard the DEP's a little overwhelmed these days, so we don't know when that's going to come back to us, but we're shooting for mid-January. The landscape plan is in the package. It's focused on really dressing out the entrance, having some street trees along the frontage with some planting beds. We want to make sure we have areas to push snow without destroying our landscaping to the extent possible. So we're focusing on landscaping this island and around the patio, this large island up front, and then behind us will be mostly restored to a meadow type condition. If you thought that was hard to read, then you should read the lighting plan. But trust me, by the time we get to the property lines of the proposed parcel, it's down to 0 all the way around. Might be just a little bit of light spilling into the right of way, but hopefully that's okay right here. Here's some shots. This is the Livermore store. It's just opened up. This is showing basically what it's going to look like, but will be even better than this. In addition to lighting of the signage, we're adding some soffit lighting here, these sort of recessed lights, give a little bit more character to the building. And the reason I say that what we're building here, Livermore Falls doesn't have quite as much traffic, so we scaled it back based on the projected revenues. This is a rendering. And you can see that compared to what we did up here, the stonework comes all the way up. Comes up much higher, and this bump out here is a taller element. That's gonna jump back and forth up. That's Livermore Falls again. This is in turn. You can see how that stonework came all the way up. We did scale back this particular logo a little bit. You can see how the patio is set up. It's got heavy planters around the perimeter to give that sense of separation from the traffic. And each of these has an indoor-outdoor fireplace, and some tables will have these, in case you really do want to sit outside on a night like this, it provides some ambience. So we've got some architectural lighting to make it more inviting. And then on the inside, that's the opposite side, with a gas fire, some nice high back chairs, and simple high top tables. Kitchen areas dedicated so you can get orders on demand, or they can have prepared foods. That's kind of where we're at. We answer questions we have about the site, building, we can answer more building questions if I don't know the answers.
Will you be going on auctions, Watertown sewer?
Yes. That's what the story is.
Both of their responses are right here. I'll pass them down so you guys can see them. They're labeled at the top. Town sewer, town water district. Back and forth. I think I may have given something else on that back. What is up there? Oh,
Is it gonna be 24/7?
Yes.
This is the same one you sent from the movie. Yeah, I already saw that.
Yeah.
What makes it look good?
I remember when it came before the board last time, the preliminary. It seemed like we were all excited about it.
Good.
It seemed like a good spot for it. Like that area of town could use some development.
Yeah, we were hoping to be back sooner. There's a little bit of discussions going on behind the scenes with the DOT and trying to figure out, because, just to talk about that a little bit further, DOT wants a turn lane in front of our store. Much because of the 50 mile an hour speed limit.
Yeah.
However, there's also a study going on that might provide turn lane both directions beyond our store. And we talked to them about, if we build our little piece and then they come in and they do their piece, is it all going to line up, or would it be better just to contribute to a fund that would be part of a larger project? And so the discussion is that we would price it up as if we were going to construct or have constructed the turn lane, and then that value of money would be given to DOT as a check. And then that would eventually become part of a larger project. This project right now, it fits in well, and the site distance is outstanding, so they're not particularly concerned with it, but we want to get it turned in as soon as possible. One of the nice things that we discussed with them is, to the extent the road widens, it'll be over more towards the New Balance side. You don't have to relocate all the overhead power that's already in place. And then Kingston has sat in a couple of meetings with us. There were some discussions about pedestrian traffic coming from the speedway, because right now it already occurs apparently due to some of the mobile home or RV parks down there. So we talked about what happens if more people want to cross, particularly during the big event, which I guess is in August. So we have put together a traffic control plan through our traffic engineering firm, Sewell, that can provide better control during their major event. But because of the high speed limit, we're not encouraging like crosswalks out there, or stuff like that, and bus stops. So, not really.
Yeah.
And there's no sidewalks out there. However, we provided a 20-foot easement in the front of our parcel, the one we're developing it all the way across, in case the DOT project goes forward, they want to put sidewalks in. They have room outside the current 66-foot right of way to add those. But they're not requiring a bus on it as far as.
Do we have to wait for DEP and DOT to get the approval before we can do anything?
So how that's gonna work is, you folks can vote tonight, and you can have it as a condition to be contingent upon DOT and DEP approvals, whatever they may be.
Which is what we're asking.
I'll make a motion that we approve it along, and then get further approval from the DOT and the DEP.
I think what we probably should do before we do that is get that subdivision amendment approved. Get that motion going, and then we'll follow through with that motion, so, let's do that. Let's do that before you make that motion.
On the site plan application requirements.
Say that again?
On the site plan application, the requirements. Is it listed on here?
Yep,
The
that
DOT.
would be, the state approvals, so, and I think that is numbered on there. We probably wanna call that out as the conditions. Yeah, we've been through these numbers before, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head, but I can't. I think it's a, lower number.
It says 44, it looks like copies of applicable state approvals and permits.
Yep, there you go. There you go.
Pending,
You can-
pending now.
You can reference number 44. Of that, yeah.
I'm assuming no special CMP like high tension power line, nothing extra, just keying off what's already there, correct?
Yes.
Basic.
We'll have it right on our side of the road. We'll probably drop new mid-span pole.
Yep.
To take it up. Maybe we can come up with an existing house.
You wouldn't happen to have a blown up version of that to put up there, do you? Of the subdivision amendment?
I mean, what I have,
I think it was, you had it up earlier. Is that right there?
Yeah.
Perfect.
So the amendment is you're just cutting that 4 acres off from the 10 acres that you have.
right.
Yeah.
Yep.
The 10 acres is the T.
Yes.
It's like a T now.
Yep.
Yep, exactly.
Separated into two properties.
Pretty much,
Yeah. And the surveyor, Sean Mitchell, he's already set these 4 pins. That one is kind of right in the middle of the driveway, so it's set to look good. Those are already out there. Yeah, there's one chopped up piece of land. Yeah. Those are the gallery for family. Yeah. So I got 2 copies of the subdivision plan. For the sites, and I can put one for town, so get over for the plan.
Yep.
And then I have copies of the 2 copies of the site plan. gets approved. Certainly, if there's any changes to the site plan as part of the review process, we'll talk to Kingston, and if it's enough, we'll come back to the board. But we're far enough down the road with both those agencies, I don't anticipate anything coming up.
What is the title of that subdivision plan, so they can,
It's the second amendment to the Francis S. Andrews subdivision
I feel like it's probably like the 20th amendment, but.
Yeah, it is. I think it's the second one done by Pliskett and Dave.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Because there were several before that, and I remember looking at this, no two seem to have an agreement on the right of way.
Oh, the one going out back?
No, the bearings and distances along the frontage, and, so I know that, they had their job cut out for them, and trying to take some of the other ones and make it fit in the plan. And I think that's why they started with theirs. The First Amendment was, creating the parcel that had the 60-foot right-of-way out to Route 26, and then this is the Second Amendment.
Yep, yep.
So we need to, have a motion to, accept the subdivision.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, I don't know how to word it, but I'll make a motion to accept the Second Amendment subdivision plan for the Rusty Lantern.
For the, whatever, Francis.
Sorry, I don't have that paper in front of me.
Do you want this to read off her?
Yeah, that might be good. I know what I'm reading off of.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Make a motion to accept the subdivision plans for the McNally subdivision, or Francis S. Andrews subdivision plan. There we
The second amendment.
go. Second amendment to the Francis S. Andrews subdivision plan.
Yeah.
Well, that's a mouthful.
Yeah, she got it.
All right.
I'll second that motion.
All right, all in favor of that?
And you can use this pen. You need to do two. You, like, you can grab them. You have more than one?
Yeah, and two of these.
Oh, yep. Perfect.
Yeah.
And the date is 12/12/24.
And, some of this here, please. Sure. Parker, would you drive?
Yeah,
Some of them are left there, too.
I gotta twist it all night. I gotta twist it all for writing.
Oh, no, that's. Hopefully they don't get as close as I always like confusion.
I think,
Yeah,
yeah.
look at this. Some of it, oh, yeah, look at this. There's some red signature, but you sign that, there's a crazy picture.
I mean, they play stuff.
Humble.
They screw stuff up.
They want red signature.
Oh, okay.
Here I think it's.
Perfect. All right, we'll keep one of those, and we'll give him one of them.
Thank you, gentlemen. Anyone want a motion to accept the site plan application?
Of course, it'll be contingent upon,
On 44, yeah.
And I'll make a motion that we accept the site plan review application for Rusty Lantern, 930 Main Street, on the contingency that item number 44 on the plan for the state approvals come back all approved.
Can I just ask one thing? I hate to pick on that, but in case anybody ever reviewed it, would the motion be I approve, not accept? Just like,
Oh, yeah.
just someone said, well, they only accepted it, they never approved it.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's fine.
Okay, thank you.
yeah.
All right.
All right. I approve, how's that? We'll get it.
I'll write it on.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
I'll second that motion. Approval.
All right, let's vote on all in favor.
All right. That signature on this one.
Oh, you did it now.
Oh, boy. Do approve that? Okay.
It's great to do it all one stop time.
Yes, it's good.
Looks like the rest of land.
Yeah.
Have you been in the West Basin?
Oh, yeah. I expect that.
Bathrooms are so nice.
I know. Well, one of the things I commented was the Dyson drying and thing. I was
It's
like,
I normally don't like hand dryers, but those ones work really fast.
it makes sense to dry off right into
In
the
the
sink.
sink, yeah. And the other Dyson at some of the stores prior to it, and it's like all the wall tile just
Yeah.
gets all grungy.
Yeah.
I don't use the blade versions, they're
Yes.
so loud.
They are, but they dry fast.
I like it on my cancer, but I get that. But yeah, other facilities are always so well maintained.
They're very nice. Yeah, I've been in the Turner one too, that one's nice.
What was the first one we did at the new store?
Yeah, I think that would be there, because it's more cramped than the other ones. You know what I mean, like as far as the aisles and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, that was the.
It's nice, it's very nice, I've been in it a couple of times, but like the space on the West Paris one is superior.
We're trying to get to the sock changing between, but every time they build it, I would like to push that back 6 inches and
Yeah.
kind of whole new sets of drawings. to be
Yeah,
made.
for sure.
Well, they're able to find enough employees to keep it going
Yeah.
24/7.
There's enough employees, it's just the weather.
What's that?
There's enough people.
They do great with that. I don't know how. They
It's
did
the,
that.
But you said saying you're gonna work Saturday night, Sunday night, and change.
Yeah.
All right, well, I thank you, gentlemen, your approval means I get to keep my job through the end of the year.
Yeah, that's awesome. Our Christmas present to you.
You guaranteed 3 more weeks at least.
Please.
Very good. All right, so you guys should have copies of the bylaws there, the lovely bylaws.
I know.
That's all right, you don't need to.
I want to.
Can we pass one down for her?
Can you grab a bylaw?
I don't know why you don't think I'm not.
Thanks for coming, folks.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, I'm good.
All right, well, let's, move on to order business number 2 and see what it all entails.
Oh, is that you guys' pink highlighter? No, that thing was probably worth, $5 by itself.
Probably didn't work.
See ya.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas, folks.
Have a Merry Christmas.
All right, so I don't know if you guys had a chance to look through any of it. One thing that sticks out that I know is probably the most critical is, there's 2 things. So one is the time. So in section 8, meetings, it's on the 2nd page,
Yep.
where it straight up says the board meets on the 2nd and 4th Thursdays of each month from 7 to 10. We don't necessarily want to shoot ourselves in the foot and say we want to meet at 7. I think we should say 6.
Or until 10 for that matter.
Well, yes, but giving us a window, we've been historically, since I've been here, starting at 6, and I don't know where that came from, because it says we're supposed to start at 7.
I like the 6 myself.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The other thing too, that's worth looking at, and then after I say all these, whatever we discuss, whatever changes we want to actually put in, the board will just eventually vote, and you'll just lump them all into one and just give one good vote on them unless you have individual things that you're really concerned with. You wanna have an individual vote on that, but, so that's one change that I'm seeing. And then the other one was, I think it's under the secretary section. It's under section 7B. And maybe that's not it.
Yeah, I don't know, you were thinking about picking one name.
No, it's section 4, organization, where it talks about the secretary having to be a member. Yeah,
What does it say?
section 4(2), it says the board shall elect a
Yeah.
chairperson and a secretary from the regular members.
So,
We wanna
so
give-
by, so by this, you're saying one of us would have to be.
Exactly.
Am I
And-
allowed to be a
According-
member?
And, well, what we don't wanna do is make you a member. Why don't we just change this
Why
to,
can't I be a member?
be, well,
Because we don't
because,
want you. No, sorry.
because,
Yeah.
because what we can do is just say, or a member of town employee or something to that effect, just to satisfy the fact that she's not an actual planning board member.
But could the secretary be a member?
Oh, yeah. The problem isn't that the secretary can't be a member. The problem is that historically, we've never had a secretary that was a member. I think when I got on,
Yeah.
it was the rec director. She was never a planning board member. I mean, maybe in the early 90s,
Yeah.
but she just continued to take the notes or take the minutes, and it was a departure from this. So we just want to,
Yeah, you can always apply again.
yeah. We
Well, I
just
feel like
want the
it'd be another
freedom.
vote, I'm already here.
Well, we just want the freedom to have the ability to have somebody that's working in the office that can do this without, because if you had to rely on these guys to do the minutes, and be like, hey, you got the minutes done yet? And they're like in their day job, it's like, yeah, let me whip them up real quick. You and
I can
I
do
can
that
just,
during my
yeah,
day job.
can just talk frequently about it or you know, freely about it without having to go through emails and phone. So, this is just to loosen it up to give the board the freedom because of circumstance, basically. And obviously, we've been starting at 6, why are we not starting at 6? or
Yeah.
At 7?
good call, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I didn't know if there was anything else you guys wanted to loosen up or tighten up, whatever you wanted to do, but those were the two major things that I noticed that we probably should correct.
So we'd have to elect Heather as secretary.
Well, I think we should just change the wording from, it says, the board shall elect a chairperson and a secretary from the regular members. Maybe saying the board shall elect the chairperson from the regular members, the secretary from regular members and or staff, or something worded way more smarter
Yeah.
than that.
Yeah.
Way more smarter.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fine.
Way more better.
Mm.
That leaves me up to all that paper.
Yes.
What about an alternate if Heather's on vacation or out sick or something?
Well, usually it'll just be one of the other clerks, because of
Okay.
the same mentality. We just wanna be able to have somebody that I can communicate with in the office that's during regular business
Yeah, like if I'm
hours.
not here, like Wendy or Kathleen comes and does it.
One of the other
Yeah.
clerks will do
Okay.
it, yeah.
Well, every time it's always been you, so I didn't know protocol on that.
That's
So we
what
need
I'm
to
always
say
at
the
work.
board shall elect a
It's 'cause I'm always at work.
chairperson.
I know the feeling.
So we need to write the board shall elect a chairperson from the regular members.
And then say,
And a secretary
from members of town staff, or something to
Or-
that effect.
Motion
or an approved person from, you know, like the planning board or someone who's approved.
From within the building.
Yeah, we have to have it general so that it's like,
Yeah,
you know,
right.
So the
I
board
don't know
shall
the
elect
language.
a chairman and a, town office personnel from the.
Well, we still wanna call her the secretary, because in this.
Right, fill it in with secretary
Yeah.
somewhere like that.
We just
Yeah,
wanna
'cause you
loosen,
could say-
loosen the option to choose where the pool of people you can pick from, and the easiest way is just say from town staff, or,
Yeah,
from
yeah,
town employee or something.
Well, that's what I was just thinking, or town employee, or something
Yeah,
like that.
or town employee.
Well, if you say town employee, that means you could have
The
one
fire
of the dump truck
department.
drivers in there.
Yeah, that's the problem with saying town employee, yeah.
That
It
opens,
doesn't have to
Can
be
you-
town
you
employee.
can't- can
From
you
the
say
town,
ten-
from the town clerk's department.
Well, I was gonna say from the town office, but would that
You-
work?
Yeah, like,
Yes.
you said town office personnel.
Yes.
So like the way he said it was, the board shall elect a chairperson from the regular members
Yeah.
and a secretary from the town office personnel.
Yes, that would do it. There we go. Thank you, Heather.
You the man, look
hired.
at that.
Now you guys better approve me.
25 years of running trucking companies paid off.
That is the more smarter option right there.
Wicked,
Thank you, thank you, Heather.
wicked better, wicked better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say that back to us again, Heather.
The board shall elect a chairperson from the regular members and a secretary from the town office personnel.
Okay.
I like it.
I make a motion that,
Well, hold on, do we wanna do the other one?
Yeah, we'll lump.
well, I was gonna do them both. Because
Okay.
Kingston mentioned one vote.
Jeez,
Yeah,
Sam,
so
we used
you'll-
our fancy
all right,
pants
well, let's-
tonight,
let's
huh? He's on a
figure
roll,
out-
we should just let him go.
I don't show up most of the time anyway, I'm trying to let myself know. Make a motion that the board shall elect a chairperson and a secretary from the town office personnel, followed up with continuing our 6 PM meetings.
Yeah, the board meets on the second and fourth Thursday of each month from
From 6
6
p.m.
PM.
To 10.
Correct.
Yeah. And I don't think I've ever been on one of these meetings that went to 10, but I think I was close, like 9:20.
Mm.
I think maybe you were here for that one.
I think I was.
Don't we need to add in, we're not always meeting on these, it's only when,
I think we should add into that, I'm not gonna remember, but here I am. I think we should add into that when
An agenda is produced.
when
That's what I say.
Yeah.
Yes,
produced.
that's a
Because
good one,
we
I like
put
it.
that on there, but we don't have.
Yeah.
the-
Because I know when I first started, I
And it
showed
should
up,
be-
because it said the
10
first and
o'clock should be
second.
max.
and There was no agenda.
So from 6 PM to 9?
Do you guys want to say 9? Yeah,
Yeah.
because I was going to say, if we're here for 3 hours, if we're here for
From
4
6
hours, that's half of the workday
Yeah.
for the planning board.
Correct.
You guys ain't getting paid that much.
No.
Yeah.
From 6 PM to 9 PM maximum.
It's not like we made, the state takes more of the money than we get for crying out loud.
Yeah, we need to work on
I
overtime.
think it's
We're gonna
zeros
unionize.
out.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd say let's change it 6 to 9.
6
Move
to
it back
9.
an hour.
Okay, let's, yep, good call.
So I've got the motion in, and I'll finish clarification on section 8 meetings. The board will meet on the agenda, starting at 6 PM to 9 PM.
Yes.
How do we want, is that how we want to word
Um,
it? The board meets on the second and fourth Thursday of each month from 6 to 9
If
PM.
an agenda
When
is
an
presented.
agenda
When an agenda is produced.
is
When
produced.
the agenda is
Yeah.
produced.
I know it, I'm,
Look at us go. I'm
All
done.
right.
Good thing I took tomorrow off.
Yeah.
I'm fried.
I was gonna say, you got smoke rolling out the heater,
Yeah.
it would be overheated up there.
Do we have a second on that?
Oh, second it.
Okay. Let's, all in favor? That's changed.
Does that always change?
Well,
Those are the only changes.
I didn't see anything else.
No,
that-
but
I did notice that,
Sam,
in section 4,
motions.
well, it says obtain goods and services necessary to proper function, so is a lot clam bake out?
no.
For a
If you
picnic
pro-
one?
If you provide it,
Picnic.
it's, we can
Obtain
do
goods
it.
and services.
Yeah.
We need to have
So
some
did-
filet
did you
mignon
notice,
for a meeting.
So our terms, we sign up for 3-year terms.
Yeah,
Yeah, how do we
But-
find out how much time I got left?
you do next year.
I
But-
know the next.
But it
I
says
know, I
on
can
line
type
2 that you can, that the chairperson is only
2
lasts
years.
2 years.
Yes.
So it's,
How many members is Sean considered a member?
Mhm.
He is not here very much.
He's never here.
yeah.
He,
I know when the
You-
farm stand's open, he's.
yes,
busy.
that was the issue, but I know that has since not been the issue. But I didn't hear from him. Al I heard from, and then we heard from him again today. But luckily you guys were here, but yeah.
I've been traveling a lot, but luckily just landed inside a non-travel.
Yeah.
With work.
Yeah, and we chose not to hold a meeting on the final, the day after Christmas, because we figured nobody would be able to make it.
I'm not
And the
coming.
scheduling, yeah, and the scheduling would just be
That would not be good.
Horrendous.
horrendous, yeah, so I just didn't even wanna make an attempt at that.
Oh, that's right, that's this month,
Christmas?
It's coming right up, Sam, pretty quick.
You know, like the 12th month and all.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah. So that is it for now, and one of these
Well,
days we'll
Tim's
get these
still
minutes.
reading, he might have found
Oh,
something.
oh.
I'm reading through the chairperson's duties.
That's
Oh,
good.
what are your duties?
To decide what rules of procedure should be waived.
Yeah.
What was it? What rules of procedure?
That's
Just jumping through the,
yeah. That's the like when you look through the application, there's waivers that can be granted.
mm-hmm,
Because we have a little leeway on some things, you know that,
yeah.
like certain percentages of things and that stuff.
Oh, didn't we talk about this that time, number, whatever X is?
10.
And
Thank you. Number 4. That time we had to bring out alternate members may vote only in the absence of regular members. Didn't we want to make it so that she could vote if she was here or something?
Which section are you
all of what.
Section
last-
10 voting,
last page,
number
all the
4.
bottom.
Well,
Because it said, I think the thing was, it says he or she shall be designated by chairperson, which is what we did last time she was here.
yeah.
But I think we talked about not making that a rule, like if she was here, she could vote. Remember, because Tim had to bring her in, because we needed her.
Well, I don't really think we need to do anything with it, because if
We
there's,
didn't have it very
if
often.
there, yeah, and if there's 5 members here, we don't need a 6th person to
Exactly,
vote.
you don't need, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so if there's 4 here, she can just jump up. Basically, Tim
And he
just
just-
says,
yes, he just says.
you can come on up.
Okay.
Yeah,
If
so
they-
that's not
basically-
broken.
Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause otherwise that would allow more votes possibly than.
Right.
than-
And you don't want a 3 and 3 and then have a
Right.
tie, which is
Oh,
a
yeah,
no.
yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
On section 5 there, the term of the chairperson shall be for 2 years, terms may not be. So when Tim's term is up,
Yeah,
we have to have a new chairperson.
We already did
yeah,
it.
yes, you
Huh?
have to vote on it.
we have to vote.
We
him in.
just made him the chairperson again.
Yeah, we just.
Oh, we
made it.
did?
You were
Yeah.
there.
You might not have been here, sorry.
I probably, yeah.
Yeah, so
Wasn't it at the,
I just like renewed, I think, yeah,
It
so I
wasn't
got one
long
more
ago.
year, another year, and then you can vote me out.
Negative.
it was,
We like you in charge.
You're doing a good
We
job.
don't have
It must
to-
have been the one before,
I don't know where I was September 12th.
so it must have been August.
Wait,
end of August.
didn't we go from Keith to you?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Has it been 4 years since then?
Yeah, because every,
It couldn't have been that, it can't have been that long because
No.
no.
I
It's
don't
only been a
think,
couple
I
years.
don't, I don't think we
Year and a
elevated
half.
you, I don't think we elevated you,
every monthly term, yes, sir.
for a second time.
Yeah.
Oh, for a second board position, or a chairperson?
For a sec, well, because technically it says terms may not be consecutive, we couldn't have.
Oh, oh, right.
That's
We just
what I was
did.
thinking.
No, I don't think we voted, I don't think
Oh,
we
didn't
voted
read
him
that part.
in
Terms may not be
Yes, we
consecutive.
did.
for 2, no, because it hasn't been 4 years
Oh, I
since
missed,
Keith
I
left.
missed the knot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wait,
That's
where are
all
we
the
reading
terms
this
you
right now?
No, that's what I was bringing up, was
Yeah,
the knot.
I didn't
Right.
say
So,
that.
when his
Terms
term's
may
up,
not- so
Yeah.
he can't
technically
be
he's
the
not supposed to be
chairperson
voted.
One
back
one
in.
of us would, right.
Yeah.
One of
But
us.
he hasn't been voted twice for 2-year terms, because I know he hasn't been doing this for 4 years.
No. he
No,
was
he's
not.
Because I haven't been an Oxford employee for 4 years.
He's starting his second 2-year term right now.
But
How
He
do you-
just was the
I
chairperson
was
for
just,
2 years,
I had
and we
to
had to
reinstate.
redo.
You know what it was?
I had to reinstate for my 3rd year. I mean, I've been on the, this is my 4th year on the planning board.
I think what happened was,
Keith
you
got knocked
filled
out.
in from Keith.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
From his 2-year,
We voted him in during the meetings
yeah.
to get us by until we could officially.
And
vote
then,
for
and
him.
then when he officially was, yeah, so when his comes up, it has to be another
It has
member
to be,
because
right.
his term cannot be
But
consecutive.
his term just started in August.
Right,
Yes.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we don't have to worry about
2
it.
years.
2
we'll get-
Augusts from now.
Right.
Yeah.
2026.
Yeah.
Gotta keep-
Yeah. Alright, so, alright, cool.
Are we good with all that? There's nothing else, was there? Because we can't approve the minutes, because not everybody for all the minutes is here.
No, yeah, we can't do that.
Alex and Al.
The Al's.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we need Al for one of them and Alex for one of them.
Yep.
Actually, we need Alex and Al for one of them. And then we need Al for the other one.
Well, we could make
Okay.
well, in the thing, it says
So,
we can do a Tuesdays and Thursdays, if we can make an appointment to have all 5 present. You know, send out an email, hey, can everybody make it this day? Just come in for a little bit, bang it off.
Yeah, it'll take like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Right.
But there won't, I mean, there'd be no agenda other than,
No,
let's approve
just
the minutes
approve the
and.
minutes.
Right.
Because now we're gonna have 3 minutes to
Right,
approve.
so
Exactly.
that's my thought process.
So if we can, maybe we can send out an email to everybody and try to figure out a day that works for all of us to
Mhm.
be here
Yep.
for 5 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Put it
Just
to
to
order,
approve.
approve the minutes.
Right, no, as far as I know, I've got nothing else going on henceforth.
Yep. I'll do
Because then we can
my,
get them off the table.
I'll do what I can,
Mm-hmm.
see what I can get.
I'm available
So
going
will we
forward.
can we get a new, updated one for the next time?
Yep, we'll,
And should we-
because
should
you guys
we
have voted
have
it.
one to sign? Should we sign them?
What does that one say?
This one's just,
Well, we'll have to sign the new one once it's been.
yeah, once it's new, yeah.
Yeah, you'll be the one to sign it, that it's approved, I guess, because,
Your
Approved.
signature is everybody's.
You're the planning board signature. You're
Yeah.
the man.
But
You-
we'll-
yeah,
I'm
we'll-
gonna practice.
we'll get clean ones, we'll get clean ones, I gotta find the Word document for that, maybe, actually, I think, Wendy
We
should
should
have
have that on
it, she
record.
should have a copy of that. She's usually got a lot of the templates or whatever
I
those.
can probably do it on the one.
Yeah, find out if it's with her, because I don't think I have access to it. And then, yeah, so, okay, and then we'll plan for next January, for the next meeting, and,
Next
Unless we
January.
can do
Just don't make it
something.
Next
January
year.
14th.
It's this January.
yes, that's correct, it's gonna be next year,
Yeah,
so.
don't make it January 14th.
Any public comment?
It's gonna be not, the ninth,
Hearing
No
that.
public
That's my
comment.
birthday.
just the
Hearing-
snakes
Yeah, I
and the
remember,
spiders.
it cost me a lot of money one time, we turned 50, ended up buying a bypass.
All right, so we can adjourn this meeting.
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I second that motion,
All right, all in favor? Good.
to vote for.
I'm gonna leave this right for Lantern.
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem, no need to take a vote.
No,